Hey everyone, it's Ali and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a little mini haul. I've hauled 5 fragrances, 3 from Alt Fragrances and 2 from Belayed that are newer to my collection. The Alt Fragrances, I've never tried Alt Fragrances before up until I hauled these 3, and I'm going to be going over my thoughts and opinions on these fragrances. So if that's something that you're into, definitely stay tuned. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name's Ellie. I talk about fragrance on this channel, and I basically talk about things I have in my collection and things that I've added in my collection. If that's something that you're interested in, then definitely subscribe, like this video if this is content that you like. And yeah, we're gonna be getting into it. The first one that I hauled from Alt is called Just Porto, and this is their take on Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino. Now this is a gorgeous fragrance. You guys can probably tell I've put a little bit of a dent since I got this bottle. I did get the smaller bottle. I can't remember what size this is. I think it's the 1 ounce size. But this is a neroli bomb. My neroli lovers out there, especially now that we're going into summertime and it's getting warm out, this is a stunning neroli fragrance. You've got neroli in the top and the mid of this fragrance. You've got lemon, you've got bergamot, you've got lavender, you've got orange, rosemary, orange blossom, jasmine, you've got amber angelica, amberette seed, and there's a flower in this that I can never pronounce. It's Pittosporum, I think it's what it's called. It has a similar vibe fragrance-wise to lilac. It's almost like if lilac, jasmine, and tuberose had a baby. That's what Pittosporum, oh my god, I can't say it. Pittosporum would smell like. Almost like a combination of those 3 flowers. And let me tell you, this is a floral bomb with a huge emphasis on the neroli, and I really do enjoy it. The longer this sits on skin, the more beautiful and the more addictive this becomes. I wore this out to the farmer's market about a couple weeks ago, and I doused myself in this, and it smelled so beautiful. Everywhere I was walking around the farmer's market, I kept catching people like sort of sniffing around and like looking in my direction, and I could tell that people could definitely smell it, and this smells so beautiful. It's neroli, it's bright, it's citrusy. As it dries down on the skin, it somehow gets better and better and better and starts developing this really clean linen smell. But it's so addictive and beautiful, which normally I'm not a fan of clean linen fragrances. I think they're kind of boring, but in this, it's so magical smelling. There's something really whimsical and beautiful about the smell of this fragrance. And I have smelled Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford in the past. I've sampled it quite a few times when I've gone to Spokane and at my local Nordstrom's there. So it's one that I've definitely enjoyed. I've definitely sampled it, but I've never bought in it because the price point for me wasn't worth getting because of the longevity problems that it had. When I would spray it on, testing it over there, the longevity was just horrendous. It didn't really work on me. It was very weak, but it was so beautiful, and I've honestly contemplated buying a bottle of it if I can find it for the right price. But as it stands right now, I'm super happy to have this one. This lasted so long on me. It lasted almost my entire day. It was at least 7 to 8 hours longer on my clothes. My clothes still had this scent lingering the next day, especially the sweater that I had on while I was walking the farmer's market. Definitely excited to have this one. Their take on Neroli Portofino is so beautiful. And honestly, this is such a safe blind buy if you're into citrusy florals with an emphasis on the neroli. Because like I said, neroli bomb, ultra beautiful. That is Just Porto by Alt Fragrances. And the packaging isn't like the best from Alt Fragrances. I do like the simplicity of it, but I'm not a fan of this style of packaging. But then again, we're here for the juice. But just side note, I'm not the biggest fan of the packaging, but I really do enjoy the quality of this. And all their fragrances are extrait de parfum, by the way. The next one that I'm going to talk about is called Gables. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And this is their take on Bond No. 9's Greenwich Village, which is one that I've been really interested in buying. The notes in it really called to me, and I've really wanted that one in my collection for quite a while. But I haven't been able to find a bottle for a reasonable price. Every time I do come across one, I always miss out on getting it. And that was one that I really wanted to add to my collection just based off of reviews and things I've seen people say about it. This one has got, sorry, lychee, mandarin, you've got orange, you've got cassis, water lily, jasmine, peony, ambroxan, praline, musk, vanilla, and you have an oak moss note in this. What I love about this is that it kind of has a Baccarat Rouge 540 type of DNA added to this, I feel like. But I feel like this is an aquatic, fresh, summertime version of like Baccarat Rouge 540, if that makes sense. When I smell this, it smells like I'm laying by a pool, and I can sort of smell like the chlorine, or you know how like chlorinated pool water almost has a certain scent to it. I kind of get an aquatic chlorinated vibe from this that sort of medicinally kind of, I associate it with like Baccarat Rouge 540. It has a slight medicinally scent to it, almost like a latexy glove. I kind of get that in this as well. I think it's a combination of the water lily, honestly, mixing in with that lychee and the musk and vanilla that's giving me this sort of medicinally scent. This is really, really beautiful. It's bright, it's floral, it's a little fruity. It has this slight medicinal vibe that I can't quite put my finger on. It's such an interesting fragrance. And honestly, it makes me want to get the bottle of Greenwich Village even more, so I can see how these two compare. And like, it's really, really nice. If you're into sort of aquatic-y fragrances, medicinal fragrances, sort of fruity floral fragrances with a green touch, then I think you're really going to enjoy this. The lychee mixing in with that water lily really aids in that sort of aquatic-y effect. And I think it's probably the milkiness of the lychee, because lychee tends to have a sort of milky quality, like a milky fruity quality, that's probably aiding in this sort of like weird chlorinated medicinally effect. At least to my nose. Really like it. Been enjoying this one quite a bit. I put a tiny dent on this one already. I've only had it for a little while. Definitely worth checking out. Now the last one that I hauled from Alt Fragrances is called Bohemian Water. This is their take on Byredo's Gypsy Water. I have a sample of Byredo's Gypsy Water, and I can tell you right off the bat, I like the fragrance. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a very comforting, sort of woody outdoors, citrusy, cozy fragrance. But that being said, it lasts maybe 10 minutes on my skin and then it disappears and I can no longer smell it. I was super disappointed in Gypsy Water because I was really interested in it. I think it was Rosie Huntington Whitley. She was a former Victoria's Secret model. Wears that fragrance, and that's what honestly like interested me, because I was a huge fan of her growing up and I loved watching her walk the runway in the Victoria's Secret fashion show when I was a child, and I just thought she was so gorgeous. And I was watching a video she had done where she was going through her fragrance collection and she talked about Gypsy Water and how much she loved it. And I really wanted to try it out. So I got a sample from Lucky Scent and it just did not work on me. It disappeared right away. The longevity is like 10 minutes on my skin. So I was really curious to try their take on it. And their take is Bohemian Water. You've got notes of bergamot, lemon, juniper, pine needles. You've got incense, orris root, amber, vanilla, and sandalwood. And what I love about this is that it definitely smells like pine needles, walking through a pine forest. The citrus adds this sort of brightness to it, and the vanilla with the orris root and the incense adds this sort of really comforting, fluffy vibe in the background. It's really, really interesting. I feel like on some people though, the citrus note mixing with this sort of like woody, fluffy effect might come off a little bit like cleaner in a way, almost pine solly. It doesn't on my skin, but I can kind of see that this combination of notes will pull in that direction for some people and their skin chemistry. So this is probably one you would want to test out, but other than that, it is so beautiful. This lasts on clothes forever, and it actually lasted about 6 hours on my skin, which was really crazy, being that the original only lasted about 10 minutes and then disappeared. And it's literally the same fragrance. I can tell you the fragrance side by side was almost identical. This one was a bit more potent because it is an extrait de parfum. So that was only the main like big difference that I noticed, was that this was a more concentrated version, obviously, of that one. But aside from that, you guys, same fragrance, ultra beautiful. Loved the way it worked on my skin. Was just glorious. So happy I have this because now I don't have to buy Gypsy Water, because you guys, it does not last on me at all. The longevity on that is just horrendous. and I love the longevity on this because it already gave me like 1,000 times more longevity than the original. The next one that I'm going to talk about is an original creation from Belayed. Now we're getting into the Belayed part of this, and this is Serendipity. Raspberry, milk accord, orange blossom, and tuberose is all you got in this one. And honestly, it's a really pretty, sort of designer smelling fragrance. It's very flirty. It's very summery. This as well has a clean linen vibe to it. I think it's that orange blossom and tuberose are giving me this sort of linen-y sort of vibe, but it's also mixing in with that milk accord, which is adding this sort of creaminess to it as well. The raspberry and the orange blossom in this actually give me, there's this drink I had the other day. I got it at the gas station on my way home. It was a Propel drink, and it was a raspberry orange flavored water thing. And it tasted the way this kind of smells, which I think is kind of funny and kind of cool at the same time. Except with like this added creamy linen-y smell. Really, really beautiful. The tuberose plays really well with that milky accord and the orange blossom. The raspberry adds a little bit of a fruitiness. This is youthful. This is fun. This is summer. Honestly, a good signature scent for anyone that is looking for a signature scent that is going to be appropriate for summer. This is really pretty. Serendipity, you guys. I really, really like it. It's a really good one from Belayed. A great original creation. Really enjoying this one. Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about was the one that I was probably the most excited about to get from Belayed. And this is called Addicted. And this is their take on the vintage formulation of Dior Addict. And y'all know Dior Addict is my baby. I love Dior Addict. I've been searching for a vintage Dior Addict for quite a while now, and all the ones I've been seeing are like ridiculously priced, and I've been sort of waiting to see if I can find one at a reasonable price, because the Dior Addict DNA, the original one, is one that's highly sought after. People are constantly talking about how much better it is than the formulation we have today, and it's one that honestly, I love this formulation, so a better version of it piqued my interest right away, and this is supposed to be their take on the vintage formulation of Dior Addict. Now, just comparing the two, the current formulation and this formulation that's supposed to be their take on the vintage, I can tell you now, there is a heaping dose of florals in this one compared to the one on the market today. The one on the market today, I think, is heavier in the vanilla and the woods. This one still has the vanilla and the woods, but I feel like there is more of an emphasis on the floral aspect in this. It's still that Dior Addict DNA. It smells like Dior Addict. Honestly, if someone was to smell this and they're used to smelling Dior Addict on you, I do not think they'd be able to tell a difference. But you would if you're very familiar with the formulation that's currently on the market. The one on the market today is a stunning, very vanillic, woody fragrance that has these florals sort of in the background, but very much there. This one, the florals are more in the forefront and they're creamy. They're almost like a waxy, buttery feel. This gives me a very full-bodied floral effect, but almost like smelling the petals and feeling the texture of the petals. I can almost feel the texture of the petals as them being very like waxy, creamy, very smooth. It's really interesting that this gives me that sort of effect. But in this one, you've got mandarin leaf, orange blossom, sandalwood, tonka bean, bourbon, vanilla, and I think they have rose in this as well, which is funny because this gives me like such a jasmine-y effect with almost like the texture of tuberose added to it. Such a beautiful fragrance. Honestly, so excited I have this. I'm gonna let this one sit to see if it sort of changes over time. Sometimes with fragrances that are made in small batches, like Belayed does, letting them sit for a minute helps them become better. Basically, they macerate more. But I'm gonna let this one sit and see if it develops, and if it changes, I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it for my haul. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been a minute, I know, and I'm going to be coming out with more content, so just stay tuned, you guys. Bear with me. Life's been really busy. Work's been keeping me really busy. I've got so many side projects I've been working on that it's been insane. But till next time, you guys, I will catch you guys later. Bye.